You know, I hear it a lot. People actually say that they can't draw, and the fact of the matter is that you can actually draw. So what I'm actually going to talk to you about is the different styles of drawings and what you actually need to do for them. So here I've got my little white paper set up again that I'm actually going to do some drawing. I've zoomed right in so you can see what I'm doing rather than having that bigger picture experience. Okay, so what I'm actually looking at doing is a couple of drawings that you're actually going to be doing. There's things like, basically it's two categories. The first category is sketching, the second category is technical drawing, and the third is rendering. So I'm actually just going to show you how to do those. So basically sketching is just freehand drawing. There's no rulers, there's no pencils, there's nothing like that. Oh, sorry, be a bit funny drawing without a pencil. My goodness, what a blooper that is. But you actually don't use rulers and you don't use an eraser to actually rub mistakes. Basically what you're doing is just freehand drawing. So if I actually come here, and I'm just going to actually draw a little cartoon sort of thing here, I'm actually just sketching this as well. Like I'm actually just doing his ears and his nose and his mouth. So then I can come back and I can fill in the details here of what he actually looks like. Oh, this man's not so happy here. Right. Okay, so, and then basically I'm just freehanding in the details here, and there's no rhyme or rule to it. I'm actually just doing nice little sketches that I'm actually working with. So when it comes to something like a box that I'm actually going to be doing, if I actually do, I'm just going to actually sketch it in again, and you can see the lines themselves, they are actually quite rough. I'm not worrying too much about how it actually looks. Okay, and then I can actually just add in some shading here just to give it a bit more shape. But the whole idea is with this, it's freehand, it's with a pencil, and it's straight on the board. Now if I was actually doing a technical drawing, those lines aren't good enough. Firstly, everything needs to be measured. So I'm actually going to measure. I've got my little set square here. I'm going to actually measure. I'm going to come in here around about 45 millimeters to 75. I'm going to come down again. 45 to 75. So everything's actually got to be measured nice and neat. I've got my T-square here that I'm actually working with. My set square here. So 45 to 75, it's roughly about 30 mil. So I'm going to come in, I've got this all set up now. Hard against here so it's square. Everything's nice and square. And I'm actually going to come in, just move this up a little bit. Alright, I'm actually going to come up 35 mil. Alright, so I've got it all nice and square. Alright, so everything's hard and it's firm and it's ruled as well. Okay, so if I actually wanted to come off now and draw that as that square, I've got my little set square happening here. Actually, I'm going to use my oblique one, my 45 degree. I can just come up here. Right, so you can see it's definitely a drawing that's like got nice hard sharp lines to it rather than the freehand one that we've actually got here. Now with this one as well, like this one here, I'd actually leave all the detail around there. I wouldn't try to erase it, but with this one I need to come back and I've got to rub it so it's actually, got to erase it so it's nice and perfect, because that's where the marks are. Using this technology, it's all got to be nice and neat. Now when I'm actually talking about rendering's like adding colour to a project to give it depth. So as a child you would have coloured in. Now as an adult you're actually rendering. So it's a different form of colour that you're actually applying. Now again here, the trick with this is to understand how the brain works. The brain itself actually, it fills in colour for us. So what you're going to find is that you don't need to colour everything in, you just do a sample of colour and you actually build on your colours. So let's say here, I've got 3 colours. I'm not sure if you can see them here. The first one here is a yellow, and then I've got a red, and then I've got a brown. To actually add shadow, like I've got to work out where the sun's coming from. To add shadow, I've actually got a pencil, a lead pencil. And then finally, to give it a little bit more definition, I've actually got a black pen. Now again, this is done freehand. And the way it's actually done, like you start with your lightest colour first. So here, I'm actually just going to give just a light hint of yellow across the top. And it's not much at all, it's just there to give it a slight shade. You're probably not even picking this up in the video. Now, if I actually have a sun over here somewhere, like up the top of my drawing, and I know it's shooting the light down onto this square, then what I'll actually do, I know that this is going to be the darkest spot here, so I'm going to add in a fair amount of yellow. Now down this bottom end, I'm actually pushing quite hard, and as I'm going up closer to that sun, I'm getting lighter. Same deal here. This is going to be getting a bit of light, so I'm actually going to start a little bit lighter, but just bring it out so it starts to fade. I'm giving it definition without giving it too much. I'm now coming back with my next colour, which will be a red. Again here, starting hard, and as I'm going up, I'm just starting to fade out. Here, same deal, starting hard, and as I'm going, I'm fading out. Again, little bits of colour. Finally, I'm going to come back with my brown. I'm just going to add a slight touch there and a slight touch there. It's not much at all. Like I said, with this here, I know that this is going to be the side that gets the most of the shade. So I'm just going to put in just a little bit of shadow with a pencil. A little bit of shadow here with a pencil. Again, not much. Right. And then I just want to harden some of these lines up to give it some actual shape and definition. So down here, I'm just going to come back with my black pen. Just come down with my black pen. Just to put in a couple of strokes to give it a bit more definition. Now if I wanted to be much more of a purist, I'd come back here, lighten these lines up a little bit, because that's where the sun is definitely hitting, to give it a little bit more detail. And that's basically it. There's not much to rendering. The important thing to actually work out is that it doesn't take much to do at all. Like you're really actually just working with what you've got and adding little bits of colour, not a whole lot of colour. Because the idea here is you let your brain fill in the rest of it rather than you actually try to do it. Okay guys, I'm just going to leave you here now. I'm actually going to just have some fun doing some drawing. But again, freehand sketches, everyone can do it. There's no excuse for it. Graphic design tools, using hard lines in your equipment to actually make sure you get nice strong lines. And when you actually come to render, less is more. You've got to color, still got to colour in between the lines, but the less colour you use, the better your project will be. It's easier to add rather than try to take off if you wanted to add some more. Thanks guys, talk to you later, bye.